It's Coffee Stories from Driftaway Coffee. Dave and Ian here previewing our whole bean and ground offerings for the second half of September and the first half of October.
This month, we are roasting a coffee from India. This is a first for us, and we are excited to be able to offer it to you. Indian coffee is still uncommon in the US, but there are many interesting farms in India who are doing really great work to grow and produce amazing coffee that represents the flavors of this unique region.
India is a large country that borders Pakistan and Nepal to its north. Coffee in India is grown in the southern peninsula, which is surrounded by the Arabian Sea to its west and the Bay of Bengal to its east. Badra Estate is located in Chikmagalur, and Shirangala Estate is located just south in Coorg.
My name is Danae Shows, and I'm the owner and founder of Ministry of Coffee, and we import specialty coffees from India, and we roast and we brew in a special South Indian coffee filter, so we're really bringing the whole experience to the U.S. And we're dabbling in selling some of the green because we really just want to get the good word out that India has some fantastic coffee. And that's why we're here to partner with you today and share with you.
Yeah, and we're really excited. We have been really excited to have the opportunity to roast this coffee because it is pretty uncommon here in the States to find it. How did you start working with these farms? Maybe give us a little bit of background on how you first met these two farmers and these two estates and how you started working with them.
Yeah, so like you mentioned, it's pretty difficult to find quality Indian coffee. And my husband actually introduced me to Indian coffee. And when I couldn't find any more in New York, which I thought was impossible, I thought, let me just go get this myself. But it's not that easy. So I had some family contacts. I reached out to some farms that whose coffee I really enjoyed, but they weren't interested in selling to me. They were primarily looking to wholesale to much larger buyers, like we're talking like Cafe Coffee Day, Starbucks of India, if you will. And then I happened upon a publication that mentioned some farms. So I literally just cold emailed farmers and hoped that they would return my email, hope that I actually got the right email in the first place. And that's how it started. So some farms got back to me and I just went from there really and just started building up my relationship slowly over the years. So I started out with Badra Estate and then I met Shirangala from there. Cool.
And you actually visited these farms, right? Have you been over there?
Yes. So we try and go once a year. Right now it's been a little difficult. We actually just came back right when the pandemic hit. But yes, we directly buy from farms. So we actually go over there, we visit the farms, we cup, we taste the coffee. I really like to know who I'm buying from, how the coffee is grown, how they're treating their workers, full transparency. We're really direct and hands-on in that way. Badra Estate is a third-generation family-run plantation. I believe they started in 1936, so they've been around for a while. They have a much larger plantation. They all call them plantations, by the way. Mm-hmm. It's just slightly different naming convention. But their plantation's about 375. The elevation primarily ranges on that estate about 3,500 feet to 4,600 feet. Yeah. So it's pretty high up in there. And on the other hand, Shirangala is just south in Coorg. So it's about a 3-hour drive, more like 3 hour actually, just south. And they're a fourth generation family run and owned plantation. It's much smaller than the 375 of Badra's. I would say it's about 100. But they have slightly different varieties of coffee. But again, all family run, they grow their coffee in a very similar manner. It's a higher elevation. It's all shade grown.
Mm-hmm. I saw from the pictures, it looks kind of like, almost like El Salvador. Like it was amazing how kind of similar the like the trees and the other plants around there, and just the steepness of the hills and everything really reminds me of Central America.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's not something you ever think of when you think of India.
No, not at all. Not at all. I mean, so Chikmagalur, that region is generally sort of like a tropical highland, if you will. There's lots of, well, there's sort of hills in India. They're mountains, but they're small relative to the Himalayas. But you do get these coffee farms that are grown on the side of the mountains, and they have just trees everywhere, and it's lush, and there's like wild animals. They have lots of monkeys. There's an elephant sanctuary right next door. Coorg is a little bit more lush, if you can even believe it. Like, there's even more trees. It's more densely forested, but it's a lot cooler. So a lot of people from the city, like Bangalore, like to go to the mountain areas during the summer when it just gets way too hot, and sort of escape and just be in that less tropical but still cool climate.
Yeah, interesting.
The way that farming is done in India is traditionally under these, it's like shade grown. There's lots of trees. A lot of plantations down there intersperse their crops with different things. So you'll see a lot of pepper, areca nut, lots of silver oak. So you have these trees just shading the coffee. So a lot of these plantations will have little villages, and the people who live there will work primarily for the various farmers. The farms actually pay for housing, for education, for medical expenses, like everything. There was this Plantation Labor Act of 1951 in India that stipulates that you must have all these things for the workers. And that's working very well, because a lot of the workers are actually becoming so educated and wanting to leave and then go into the city where there's more opportunity. So you get a lot of migrant workers and whatnot. So yeah, a lot is provided for the workers.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like the model of some of the most established farms in Central and South America have like a similar setup. And most of that is not government mandated, but sort of industry mandated. Like, people in the industry set up funds. They sort of all give each other incentives to, once you grow beyond a certain size, the farm, then you get all of these things in place or the cooperative provides this for people. But it sounds like in India that the government actually steps in and says, you have to do this.
No, yeah, exactly. Which also drives up the cost a bit. So you have, you're always hearing about like, oh, well, we're paying more coffee, or you're paying more for your coffee because we're paying the farmers and yada, yada, yada. And we're trying to give them basics. But like, that level it starts off so much higher in India. Like, so there's a lot more cost involved, but I mean, it's obviously for a good thing, where,
yeah,
you feel good that you're actually paying, where the money's going, and
right.
And you can see it. Like, every time I'm there, they're always improving these places. I mean, I can't speak to India in general, but the farms that I do work with, I wholeheartedly believe in what they're doing, and I'm happy to be working with them.
This coffee has earthy aromas with notes of baking spices and dark chocolate. That's the India, Shirangala and Badra estates.
For more info about this coffee, visit driftaway.coffee/IND.
Visit the links in the description below for our other profiles this month, including our 3 cold brew profiles. As summer winds down, don't miss your chance to order our easy-to-brew, no-mess cold brew. You can find full details at driftaway.coffee/cold brew. Thanks for checking out Coffee Stories. Be well, and we'll see you next month.